I don't have your quizzes graded. They will be graded by Tuesday. I would say I could get them done during class, but one, they're talking when I'm talking, which annoys me. Really annoys me. And two, I'm hoping to grade your checkpoints and your perfect squares instead. If we can keep it together, both those should be done before the end of the class period. If you did not do your checkpoint for homework last night, or you did not turn it in before you left the room yesterday, I'm not going to cry about it, but that's the first thing you want to do when I get done rambling. Because if I don't see Eric's checkpoint, at least his first attempt before he leaves the room today, I'm not going to give Eric all his points when he comes back and tries to hand it to me on Wednesday. If you forgot to pick it up yesterday, it's back on the podium so you can get it when we get done with the next. Okay, let's see. We've got 2 math workshops. First period, no one volunteered for 18. Second period, someone did. Does someone have an answer for number 18? Yes, Brady?
Isn't it the line goes in one direction?
This is where Brady can have a point, and I should have fixed it at the beginning of the period. So sorry, Brady. There was a typo in the last one. So sorry, Brady. Of course. Yes, dear.
So the third one, instead of kind of like the line in the middle, it's going to opposite directions.
If you can tell me what kind of graph that is, you can have 2 points.
Or
You can have 2 points. First person all day that's figured out, well, besides Brady, because if the last one was not corrected, he would be correct as well. Okay, so we can do this one quickly. I'm only going to put the 2 points I need on my graphs. Bless you. I'm only going to put the 2 points that I need on my graphs. And then I'm going to put all circles. Why am I not going to fill in any of these circles? Because none of them are equal to. Lyric your biggest point. Okay, so it says between -3 and 5. It's less than 5 but greater than -3. So this one, we fill it in, and it is an and graph. When someone guessed last period, they had a good guess. Here's their logic. They said the first one was wrong because all the others actually physically had the word and written out. It's not bad logic. It's incorrect, but it's not bad logic. Okay, the second one says x is greater than 2 and it's less than 3. Again, we're in the middle. It's another and graph. We get to the third one, x is less than 1. X is greater than 5. Oh no, that's an or graph. And when we corrected this last one, again, greater than 4, less than -2, it ends up being an and graph. So Landon is correct. It's supposed to be the third one. But Brady's sort of correct too, because if we hadn't changed the inequality sign, that fourth one would have been a weird graph that looks like none of the things we've been talking about, where it just shades all the things just to the right. Which is what some people did on their quiz. They didn't have an and graph, they didn't have an or graph, they had this weird hybrid graph, which kind of made me mad, but it is what it is. It wasn't the quiz, it was the test, the last test from last week. Some people yesterday, because I'm sorry, third period, your test was the last graded, and some people still haven't seen their test grade from that first test. If that's you, I swear we're going to make sure you see that today as well, along with the key. If you did not do well on that first test, like a D would be not well to me. C or higher, you did fine. If you did a D or an F and you would like to come see me during zero period to fix it, I totally understand. We can do corrections, or we can just, I had someone who just said, can I just start all over again? I think it's a great idea. But you have to come see my face during zero period. Okay, as for number 19, when they start asking me about intervals where stuff is increasing, decreasing, negative, constant, positive, that kind of thing, I like to pretend that a function is a roller coaster. And if we were riding a roller coaster, so this is us in our little car, we're going up the roller coaster. When we say constant, that means when is the ride flat? When we say negative, it's when are we going downhill. When we say positive, it's when are we going uphill. I hope that helps. We're wanting to reference the x-axis, so it's constant between 4 and 9, or it's negative between 3 and 6. There is an interval where it's constant right here. It's flat. I need to know where that is on the x-axis. Yes, Travis, you've been dying to answer. Go ahead. You've had your hand up. What do you? Okay. Are you wanting to answer, or what are you wanting to tell me? Okay. 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 I'm wanting to know the interval where the graph is constant. I'm needing two numbers from that x-axis. What two numbers? Yes, Brady? 0 and 3. So we can write it in interval notation, so it's between 0 and 3. Or if we're feeling really lazy, we can just write 0 to 3. However, that is not the only constant region on our graph, is it? There is another constant region down here, so I'm needing another interval. Yes, Travis?
6 to 9.
6 to 9 is what he said. Would someone like to give a different guess? Yes, Landon? 6 to 10 is what Landon's guess was. And this is still not what we're looking for. Jessica?
Wouldn't it just be 6 to like ongoing?
Yes, so, and then Landon said the word is what? 6 to infinity. So, I'm not going to give it to anybody since that required too many. So, I'm going to either write it as we're greater than 6, or I can say it the way Landon said it, 6 to infinity. Now, I get that you and I see the 6, and we see our picture ends at 10. But that arrow lets us know this ride kept on going. We did not get off this roller coaster. It kept going off this picture. So that's why we're going to say 6 to infinity. Okay, and now our last question says, where is our roller coaster, or where is our graph negative? Where's the function negative? So we're going downhill. I'm needing some values for that. Where did that happen related to the x-axis? Yes, Jessica? 3 to 6. So if we look, we were going downhill, starting here, and it ended when our... That looks ugly. So we were going down the hill, and if we relate that back to the x-axis, we started going downhill at 3 seconds, or 3, whatever, and we stopped going downhill at 6. So it's 3 to 6, or we could write it out 3 to 6. So if this was related to seconds, well, first of all, it wouldn't make sense with the negatives, because there's no negative times. But if this was related to seconds, we would say for the first 3 seconds, we went in a straight, constant rate. We were traveling in a straight line. From 3 to 6 seconds, we went downhill, so we were going negative. And then from 6 seconds on, we were again constant. Okay, are there any questions about this math workshop? Yes, please.
You could say that it's the distance from the center of the track, 0 being the middle of it.
You could do that. That's a good idea. I always relate it back to time, which is why Travis was asking yesterday what time is always at. So that's a good idea. Okay, are there any other thoughts on this math workshop? Okay, let's go to your notes. I'm wanting to look at page 7 really quickly. I know we've already filled it in. I just want to look back over this really fast. Page 7 really quickly. From the tests, the quizzes that I have looked at, some people are crazy. They are crazy. Let me tell you, the worst mistake you can make in math class is to leave something blank. And what they didn't do is on the last 2 questions, they just left them blank. They didn't know how to graph using the intercepts, so they left it blank. If I'm being completely honest, when I grade Caitlin's next test, because I'm sure there's going to be another question that says graph using the intercepts, I don't actually look to see if she did the intercept work correctly. I don't look to see if she did this. I look first at her graph. Is her graph correct? If she's got the correct graph, I let it go in line. So to be honest, if she doesn't use the intercepts and instead puts the, instead she used point slope form and she puts, that's not point slope, it's slope intercept. If she instead puts her point at 8 and then counts down over 4, right 1, I'm not going to be mad at her. As long as her graph is correct, I'm not really, so if you left it blank because you didn't like that intercept word, don't do that again. Just graph a line. Graph a line however best you need to graph a line. Graph a line. Okay, now as for today's notes, we are going to graph a line. We are on page 12. And again, we're going to fly because most of chapter 2, if not all of chapter 2, is still review. Still review. So you already know slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. What's the m? The slope. What's the b? The y-intercept. Just making sure we're on the same page. Now, I'm going to assume that Matthew already knows how to do all these things. If Matthew doesn't, he needs to speak at some point during the notes, or he needs to come see me before he leaves the room today, because otherwise I'm going to assume Matthew has graphing down, and it's going to break my heart when I don't see what he doesn't later on in class. Okay, first question's easy. We're given it in slope-intercept form. We need to identify the m and identify the b. Any volunteers? Yes, table 2.
M is -1.5.
Perfect. Give yourself a point. Okay, number 2 is not as easy because we're not in slope-intercept form. Travis, I know you can answer all the questions. You don't have to leave your hand the whole class period. I'll call you when I get stuck. Or not when I get stuck. When no one else wants to volunteer. Deal? Deal? Okay, good. Number 2 we're mad at because it's not in the appropriate form. It's almost in what form?
Standard.
Oh, that was good, and almost everyone said it, so I need you to add a point to your group. Okay, so to put it in slope-intercept, yes, we need to add 10 to both sides. So we would have 3x plus 2y equals 10.
When you get back on,
We're going to get there in just a second. I moved the 10 over. Now I need to move that x over, so I have 2y equals negative 3x plus 10 because I subtracted 3x from both sides. And I'm almost in slope-intercept because I do have the x piece and the number piece on one side. But Drea is right in that it was Caitlin. Okay, cool. I'm giving credit to people. Caitlin was right. We've got to get rid of that 2. It's bothering y. So we have to divide everybody by 2. So I have y equals negative 3 halves x plus 10 over 2. But 10 over 2 reduces to 5. So I'm going to have negative 3 half x plus 5. Okay, easy point now that we've rearranged it. What is the m? What is the b? Yes, dear. And your group gets a point. M is negative 3 over 2. B is 5. Okay, I'm going to freeze my screen. You go ahead and try number 3. It is in standard form. We need to rearrange it and put it in slope-intercept. Yes, please. Good question. And you know me, I'm going to prefer the fraction. Someone has the answer somewhere. Yes, dear?
M is 2 and B is 1.
No.
Did you say 3?
Number 3, yes. Lyric, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Is M 1/2 and B 2?
B is not 10, so no, not quite there. Yes, Landon.
Never mind. I did something wrong.
Eric?
You need 10 over 4.
Which reduces to...
Oh,
Yes. Okay, Eric, you're going to have a point. Y'all are concerning me, so let's talk about this one. Everyone subtracted 2x from both sides, so you had negative 4y equals negative 2x plus 10. Does anyone not have that step? Okay, maybe you made a mistake like me at this point. First period, I didn't divide by negative 4. I'm supposed to, though. If you divide both sides by negative 4, you end up with a negative 2 over negative 4, which is positive 2 over 4. You end up with 10 divided by negative 4, so I wrote negative 10 over 4. And then, like Jessica asked, we need to reduce this if we can. 2 over 4 reduces to 1 over 2, so 1/2. 10 over 4 reduces to 5 over 2, so negative 5 over 2. Are there any questions about this one? Because that one seems to be a problem. Yes, dear? You did negative 2.5, and that's okay. Again, get on board. We're fraction people now. That's fine, but we're fraction people now. You wouldn't write the slope as 0.5x, though, because you can't 0.5 when you count the slope. You've got to go up 1 over 2. The b. But if you can't put the m, so it doesn't seem very fair, does it? Okay, deep thoughts this morning. Let's go ahead and do number 4. And I need to, you had a question.
No answer.
Oh, he has an answer. Go ahead and tell me the answer to number 4 then.
M is 1, B is 7.
Brady, literally my heart is broken at this moment.
Yes.
This is never. I really, I thought all day long somebody.
What'd you say?
I thought all day long somebody was going to mess this up. I knew all day long somebody was. And I thought with the hands up, I thought if I call Brady, it's safe. And for once you were blonde. Welcome to Earth. Good.
Isn't it?
M is 0, B is 7. Okay, so it's really, and oh my goodness, Miss Compton's paper has too much work on it. It's really y equals 0x plus 7. So M is really 0. And if you're having a blind day, you thought M was 1. Trust me, we all have blind days. Okay, let's make 2 quick coordinate planes and talk about something really fast. I want to graph y equals 7, and I also want to graph x equals 7, because this seems to confuse some people, so we need to go ahead and discuss it. Y equals 7 is a line that crosses through the y-axis at positive 7. It is a beautiful, beautiful horizontal line that passes through y equals 7, and it has a slope of 0. X equals 7 crosses through the x-axis at 7 and looks like this kind of line. So one is horizontal, one is vertical. Most people are mad and forget which is which, but the x equals 7 one is important to know for a reason. And I phrased it weird second period, but I'll try phrasing it this way again. Why are we mad at the graph of x equals 7? Yes, dear?
It won't pass the line test.
It won't pass that vertical line test, so technically x equals 7 is not a function. It fails that vertical line test. In fact, I can't think of a function that fails it worse. Because, let's face it, when I use my test and I put my pencil over the line, the entire line is gone. It fails it at every single point. Every single point, it fails it. No one else is failing that epically. Okay, that's just an aside. I swear it's about to come up, just FYI. Let's go ahead and do number 1. I need you to pretend like you're not a math, and I actually don't know how to graph. Can someone in English explain to me how to graph the line y equals 2x plus 1? Yes, Landon?
First, you want to do 2x into the front, 0 over 1.
Okay. Although my slope is technically 2 over 1, not just 2. Okay. Can you help me graph?
You put the dot on the y-axis.
Okay, I put my intercept on 1 on the y-axis. Now what?
Go up 2 and 5.
Okay. And then, do I continue with this pattern or no? Okay, so I'll go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And then what about down here? Perfect. Thank you, dear. And to be honest, Miss Compton is getting lazy. That's enough points for me. It looks good. When I grade Caitlin's graph, I check, did she do the intercept correctly? Did she at least count one direction with the points, the slopes correctly? If she thinks I sit there and check every single point, she's wrong. I don't. No one has time for that. Okay, are there any questions about number 1? Then let's go ahead and do number 2. That equation though, can someone quickly tell me what it should be? What's the m and the b?
M is 0, X is
Okay, Abby Grace is out. She said m is 0. Yes. Yes, Travis. Yeah, it's a 1, but once you put it in slope in you can have a point. So, yes, technically it's a 1. He's right. When we move it over, it's negative x minus 3. So our m is negative 1, and our b is, and that way you can keep that point. So I should put my intercept at negative 3. And then if I'm going up 1, I need to go to the left 1. And if I'm going down 1, I need to go to the right 1. And my goodness, that seems like enough points. Let's call it a day. That's our line. If you are like me, and I know DJ is like me, we have negative issues. Negatives are always in our way. Math we can do, but the darn negative signs tend to mess us up. It's just the truth. I don't know why. We're trying to deal with it. At least we're aware. Okay, if your line is supposed to have a positive slope, it needs to lean to the right. If your line is supposed to have a positive, if your line is supposed to have a negative slope, it needs to lean to the left. So this sounds kind of awful, but every time I finish a problem, I look back at what my slope was. It was negative, my line leaned left, good. It was positive, my line leaned right, good. Because otherwise, sometimes I tend to get a little confused. Positive lines lean right, negative lines lean left. Are there any questions about that? Okay, then flip to the back. We're going to skip some of these. We're going to skip number 3. We've already done one similar to that. We're going to skip number 6. Let's be brave and go ahead and do number 5. Oh, wait, we just did it already in class. So let's write it down again, make sure we're on the same page. X equals 7 is a vertical line at 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it looks like this. But as Landon pointed out, we're mad at it because, and it wasn't Landon, it was Andrew. We're mad at it because it's not a function. It fails that vertical line test. I mean, we still graphed it because the directions told us to. And we follow directions. But it's not a function. Okay, the only other one we're going to do is number 4. Jeez Louise, number 4. Good gravy. Go ahead and put it in slope-intercept form and tell me the y and the b if you know it. Not the y and the b. I'm telling you, I need to just stop talking. The m and the b. Tell me, Landon. I'm ready now.
M is negative 1 over 5.
You had the hand up. I was ready to roll, Eric. Come on. Let's let Brady redeem himself. I know I froze it on my hand. Is that what you're mad at?
Yeah.
So I'll just cover up my answer? Okay.
M is 1/5.
And B?
Negative 1.
Okay. So if you had an issue, did you subtract X from both sides? What probably happened, and what happened to a guy last period, he doesn't like to show his work, totally understand, I'm with you. When he subtracts 5 from both sides, he forgot to change the sign of the X, so he had positive X plus 5, but he should have negative X plus 5. So if you need to write in that step in green, nobody's going to be mad at you for showing extra work. I'm just saying if you can do it in your head and you want to do it in your head, that's fine with me. Okay, then when we divide by negative 5, negative 1 over negative 5 ends up being positive 1 over 5. Positive 5 over negative 5 reduces to negative 1. Is there anyone confused about how we got this answer? Okay, so I put my intercept at negative 1, and I count up 1 and to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I'm mad at this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because it doesn't have enough room on this grid. You can only put in down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't talk and do math at the same time. Down 1, 2, 3, 4. You can only put in 3 good points, and then you're just going to have to call it a day. Because there's just not enough room on our grid. Yes, dear?
I got messed up on number 4. Page 6, number 4.
So, in
Page 6, the one in standard form? Yes. Technically, back to what we just did on the front. Brady has a good question. Let's go back to what we just drew on the front. Technically, this is linear. The slope is 0 because we can't count up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. The slope is 0 because we're not counting up and over it. But technically, it's still linear. Doesn't it pass that vertical line test? Is this not a line? I mean, most people will say, well, that's a line. Yes, but it fails that vertical line test. So, yes, this is a linear function. Sadly, this is linear, but it's not a function. Does that clarify a little, Brady? Okay. That's a good question. You can have a point for that. Let's look at what you got to do now. Haha. You have to do this worksheet. You have to do all 12. I'm checking it Tuesday. DJ is smart. He is fast. He can get this done before the end of the class period if he doesn't get distracted. However, that all depends on did DJ actually finish his checkpoint yesterday? Because if not, he needs to get that done first. Okay, you got things to work on. If you need me, come see me. I'm hoping to just leave you where you are at points, maybe add a few. Don't make me take any away because you're goobers and you can't keep it together on a Friday.